Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his good friend Matt, the lumberjack landlord. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing awesome. I'm excited for it to be Tuesday.
It
So
is.
let's do this thing.
There you go. So one of the things that I want to kind of break down in greater detail, I think I've made it very clear that I think there's a significant slowdown. I would even say crash in transactions coming. Probably down 25, 30% this year, ultimately 50% peak to trough. That's interesting. However, I don't think a lot of people do the second derivative effect, right? If I'm talking about, we'll just use round numbers, 50% decline in transactions,
Mhm.
what you may not know is real estate or the housing market, the housing industry, it makes up 15 to 18% of our GDP.
Mhm.
So if we cut transactions in half,
Mhm.
that's not going to be a good thing for GDP. I'm thinking. What do you think of that?
It means my call's right.
And what would that call be exactly?
I think we're in recession in Q1 of 23.
Right. Q4, Q1. Yeah.
Yep. Q4, Q1. I mean, I think that's what I've been calling for, about 6 months or so. To me, the writing is on the walls.
Mhm.
I think that the esteemed Greg Dickerson
Mhm.
was only slightly off. I think that he thought it would be real demand destruction in the fours.
Right.
I thought it would be real demand destruction in the fives.
Mhm.
And so that's what we're seeing is demand destruction.
Yeah.
As luck would have it, I am building a buy box for Vegas.
Mm.
And I think what you'll find most interesting is that in the last 7 days in Vegas,
Okay.
there has been an average of 100 net properties being added per day.
Ooh, got to get Brian Lebo on the phone. Vegas is blowing up.
Lebo knows. I talked to him. He's my broker.
Oh, there you go. I love
Yeah,
that.
Lebo's my broker. So Lebo and I have known each other for, I don't know, a couple of years.
Yeah.
Because he's like the shining star out there in Vegas, and he's a guy who lives in Vegas but is from Vegas, and
Yes.
that's what I was looking for in a broker. And so we were talking about that, and it's 100 net houses a day, not 100 this week, 100 a day net.
Yeah.
That is frightening.
And that will quickly double inventory. We're talking 10, 11 days, inventory will double.
So that was 4,200
Wow.
to 4,800
Wow.
in 6 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're going to be, I mean, and here's the thing is it's picking up. Some days it was like 80, 90, others it was 115. And think about this. One of those days was Father's Day.
Oh, I know, right?
One of those days was Juneteenth.
Yeah.
You've got some things in there that should have slowed it down a little bit, and they didn't. It barreled through.
Yeah. I mean, it's always an inventory problem, right? Inventory. And then, obviously you have a buy box going. I'm guessing like all markets, you're probably seeing a bunch of wish pricing. When do the price drops happen in Vegas? In my market, it's about day 15. Have you watched it long enough to know? Is it day 7, day 15, day 30?
So a couple of weeks. And so far I saw one property yesterday that it was on the market for 1.1. In 7 days, it took 100K price cut to $1 million because I'm sure they didn't have a showing.
Right. Crickets.
But it is wish pricing because that property comp wise is probably 950, 925. Okay. So still wish pricing. And ironically enough, is 2 years earlier, you could buy that house for 550. So the way I view it is if it looks anything like the stock market, we're not going to give all of it back, but we'll give a lot of it back. Right. And so even if they give a lot of it back and that 1.1 house went from, let's say 550 to 1.1, but 1.1 was wish pricing, even $1 million is wish pricing, probably 950, probably 9.25. But I think in the next 6 months, that might be an 8. That might be a 750.
Yeah. In my opinion, what you're going to see is you're going to really find out who needs to sell.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
Because the idea with wish pricing is, hey, if I get my number, I'll go. Yeah. But some people will look at this going, hey, 950 is my floor. I'm not taking a penny lower.
Yep.
and they'll just take it off the market. And that's what's going to be very noisy about the real estate market is you're going to see listings on and off. It's going to distort. But yeah, the beauty of what we do, because we're not tied to an area or a timing, is we can be patient.
100%.
Right. We could find 5 houses like this example. We'll write 5 offers. 2 of them will tell them to F off. What, 3 will counter, 1 will counter seriously. And maybe you get one, maybe you won't. But if you don't, you'll just write 5 more offers in the future. So
rinse and repeat. And so that was the conversation I had with my broker, Brian. And I said, listen, I want the house that already has the pool.
Yep, of course.
A great location.
It is Vegas.
Yeah, a great and I have 3 kids. A great location. But when I walk in the front door, I want it to look like Miami Vice.
Ooh, okay.
He's like, why? And I said, I'm not just a fan, but I can redo the entire inside and I can make it exactly like I want for $100,000.
Oh, so you want the old, outdated. I see what you're going. You're like, no, give me the one that needs work that other people will run from.
Yep.
I got the skills to do it myself.
Correct. And I will buy that because people are approved. They can buy whatever they want to buy.
Right.
I will get something at a $200,000 discount and I'll be able to do it for $100,000.
Exactly.
So I'll make another $100,000 in equity there. Or worst case scenario is I'm not putting myself in a position where I won't be able to sell it or trade out of it.
Right.
So it gives me a really strong position. And so, yeah, admittedly, we're looking for a unique property, but
you got time.
Really interesting is there is a part of the city that had all of the YouTubers and crypto guys move to it.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
And so I will likely be buying a house from a famous person
who lost his ass because he was leveraged in crypto.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How's that crypto channel doing for you now?
Yeah.
You better be a trader, not an investor. So,
yeah, exactly.
Again, but this is the market at work, right, Mike?
Yeah,
this is what you and I like to see is that we were disciplined. We didn't overspend. We were very disciplined in our buy box and in our rent boxes and understanding what things cost. So yeah, I'm honestly, it's so exciting to learn a new market that I actually picked up 2 new markets at home.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, it's bonanza time.
Yeah. The other thing I want to point out about the GDP and transaction crashing is there are going to be, we've already seen it. I think it was Compass and another real estate company, which I'm drawing a blank on at the moment. Zillow, I think. I don't know where it was. 2 other companies. They're already laying people off. So
yeah.
Right.
Redfin too.
Redfin, that was it. Redfin and Compass. And the Redfin CEO said, we're not talking months of less transactions. We're talking years of less transaction. I'm like, thank you for watching my channel because that's what I've been calling.
Exactly.
I'm glad he's a follower. Please subscribe. I'd love to see your name there. But where I'm going with this is real estate agents is like everybody kind of gets that, right? But you got to remember the real estate market. There's inspectors, appraisers, roofers, paint. There's all these other, you don't get to be 15 to 18% of our GDP and not have a lot of pull through. Yeah. So when transactions get cut in half, it won't be an even split, but we could probably lose 4%, maybe 4.5% of GDP.
Yep.
How the hell are you going to make that up? So I think you're right. I think my call of Q3, Q4 is it's not looking good. I won't change it because I want to admit when I'm wrong. But yeah, it's, I think the housing market could shave 4% of GDP off pretty easily.
Oh yeah. That's, I'm seeing it in product sales. Machines and things like that.
Yep.
Mike, I am so freaking excited. I'm vibrating. Products that, I called last year to buy a trailer and he's like, oh yeah. Maybe in 2023, I can get you one of those. All right. I'm not letting you hold my money till then. I'll wait.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of stuff that I'm seeing come to market and it's a steal. Yeah. It's because people are having to liquidate. I think I'll likely buy some businesses and just liquidate them myself. Yeah. That are like trucks and equipment and things like that. Just stuff that I can use where it's like, you know what? If I get a couple free pieces of equipment from basically this guy saying, hey, I'm going out of business anyway. Yeah, I'll buy the business from you. I'll buy all the assets from you. So you're not selling them onesies. And then I'll get to keep a couple of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the things that I see in your future, not only a Vegas home, which I look forward to staying at a few times, is
Absolutely.
just kidding.
I told Lebo that the house had to be that big that Zoom could come and stay.
Oh, exactly.
And have your own separate wing away from the kids.
There you go. I don't mind kids. I like being the uncle.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna,
yeah.
I'm gonna buy
Wait,
him drums. That's what I'm
yeah,
gonna do.
yeah. Wait until they open up the door and they go, Zuber.
That's okay. I'm a morning person. Good luck with them getting up before me.
Please,
no, no. But where I was going with this is, I think you are the next generation of Greg Dickerson trucking a toolbox, right?
Yeah,
I think where you're going to go with this, if you choose to, you don't have to, but I think you're going to, because you just got that itch. Is you'll buy a couple of businesses, you'll liquidate some, but I think you're going to go, this just kind of slots in, right?
Yeah. Well, that's, one of the things that we're looking at here is, we did some shopping, during Eliana's treatments, we did some shopping for a property manager.
Mhm.
And of my 10 boxes, none of them hit 5.
Oh, geez. Wow.
And I'm like, I will, all I have to do is put a logo out there and a website and I will dominate you. And so we started having those conversations with some of the other contractors that we use and things like that, and saying, would this be of interest to you? And so I think probably within 90 days, I can open up a property management firm and probably have 500 units under management.
Yeah.
And that
in your markets,
in my market, that makes you a big shot. Well, one of the things that was really interesting. So somebody said something to me on one of my live streams, and it kind of made me think. So you own 180 some odd properties in a populated area of 1 million people. So I own 117 units in a populated area of 50,000.
Yeah, the percentage is just it's way different.
So it's just so it makes it different for you and me, right?
Oh, yeah,
whereas not only are your face not attached to all those properties, mine is, and people don't move away. So I've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
So there is not a place that we go where we don't get a hello.
Right.
We know that many people. So I just think that that's really interesting, because again, I want to help out my local community. And that means, I'm probably going to end up buying some of the companies and doing some of that work and creating jobs. I like creating jobs.
Yeah, no, I think that's where you're exactly going to go. And again, we have a recession bear market in front of us. A lot of people over leverage. You're going to just do what you do. And so this has been a very interesting conversation. So we talked about GDP going down 4% because housing transactions crashed 50. We understand that you're going to have a buy box in Vegas where you're going to buy the 1980s Miami Vice house, which is awesome. Working with Brian Lebo, another guest on the show all the time.
Awesome.
And you're going to be a business owner in the very near future. So I'm ecstatic. Where can people follow you and just see what's going on?
So Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube and on Instagram. And we're actually doing right now, Mike, one of the things I got the biggest level of requests for was product reviews of the stuff that we use in our properties.
Yeah.
And so we're actually doing a 10-part series covering all the products that we use. And then we make it really easy for people. We put the link in there. This is what we use for this. This is what we use for this. We just want to make it super simple, try and help folks out and get them the great product that we know works.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. I'm going to love that series. Thanks, buddy.
Anytime, my friend.